Hi everyone, and welcome to Inside Bristol. I'm your host Sheridan Nichols, and we have some very exciting news for you today. And to share that news with us, we bring you Executive Director of
the Birthplace of Country Music and Rhythm and Roots.
That's right. We've got Leah Ross here, and she has got some fantastic news. What is going on in Bristol? And this is coming up August 11th.
August the 11th.
August 11th. And what's going on? What happened?
Bristol is going to host the Gentlemen of the Road Tour, which is a UK band named Mumford & Son in downtown Bristol. And we're very excited. We are one of 4 cities that they've chosen across the nation.
So how did this happen? And I'm assuming they just called you and the phone
rang,
rang, or how did this happen?
No, back in February, Christina Blevins, who's the executive director, I believe, in Bristol, got a call from the National Main Street program saying there was a UK band that wanted to tour the United States. And we did not know the name, and she said, should we do this? And I said, sure, it might be the Rolling Stones, but there were certain criteria that you had to have to be able to even submit. You had to be able to accommodate 10 to 20,000 people in downtown. You had to be able to fence off an area and charge tickets. You had to be close to an airport. You had to have places where people could camp. And you had to tell the history of your town. And I said, we would be perfect. So we submitted it, and they came up with an A, B, and C list. And at that time, we knew who it was. It was Mumford & Sons. But we could not tell that. And about 2.5 months ago, I guess it was, on a Thursday night, I got a call from AC Entertainment, who is really producing the tour for them, wanting to know if I'd be available on Friday because the band was coming through, and would I meet with them. So they drove down State Street on a Friday night. Everything was going on. There was music everywhere.
Aww.
There was something going on at the Paramount, and they pulled into the parking lot right there at Tri-Summit Bank, and they got out and they saw the sign, and that's where the main stage is going to be, in that parking lot. And they went, this is perfect. Yeah, we're going to do it. And so I was with them from about 8 o'clock that night till about 12:30 in the morning. And then on Monday morning, we got a call from AC Entertainment, and they told us that Bristol had gone from being on that A list to being their #1 choice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's very
Bristol.
exciting for us.
It sort of gives me goosebumps.
It does.
That's so
and
exciting.
that, you know, they had said they wanted to do that, but they weren't 100% sure. They were just exploring everything, and that when they came to visit our town, it's the one thing that made them say, yes, we're going to do that. But, you know, they're not just coming by themselves. They're bringing other bands. They're bringing a group called Dawes, who's played the festival, Justin Townes Earl, who's very popular in our region. They're bringing Simone Felice and a couple other bands. So it's not just them coming. They're bringing a whole crew with them.
And you also mentioned they've asked for some local bands too. So
yes.
This August 11th date is not really isolated to this exact day. You're sort of saying the whole weekend special things
I think
could
Friday
be happening.
and Saturday, you're going to find music all in downtown. And one thing that was exciting for us, they went on sale on June the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't go on sale till 10 a.m. At the computer crashed twice with people trying to buy tickets online. We had people that camped out the night before because we were given 500 tickets that we could just sell locally. And but in the first day, they sold tickets to 42 states and 4 foreign countries. We sold tickets to Spain, Australia, Great Britain, and Canada.
Isn't that incredible? And you sold how many? Because this number sort of wowed me.
Well, in the first 25 minutes, they had sold 7,400 tickets.
It's incredible. And I mean, it's Bristol. This is so exciting.
You know, and we have, most of our hotels are sold out right now, so it's going to be a really economic boom for our community. The Virginia Tourism Corporation and the Tennessee Tourism Corporation, if they didn't get tickets or if they don't have tickets, they're running a contest online where you can win 2 tickets. They're going to bring a motorhome here that you're going to be able to stay in.
Oh,
a lot
fun.
of different things. I mean, stay and everything. So you should go to their websites and check that out too.
So it'll just be a really exciting weekend, and I'm sure that you're just thrilled. I mean, in your 7-year career as executive director, I'm sure this is one of the highlights.
You know, it really is. It's been very rewarding to see our festival grow and how the community has taken ownership of that. But I think this event really puts us on a different playing field because, you know, we advertise and we do a lot of street teams across the country, but this tour puts us on a national and international. I mean, it's been in Rolling Stone. It's been in the USA Today. It was on Access Hollywood one night talking about this.
Big time.
So you know, it just, we know how special we are and what Bristol has to offer, but this is an opportunity for us to show the world what we have.
And this is really exciting. Well, Leah, thank you so much for coming and for sharing this great news with us.
Well, thank you for letting me share it.
When we come back, a closer look at a city service that could help you get around town. Are you looking for an alternative route to get around town? Inside Bristol reporter Jess Mutter tells us about a city transit service that could help you get where you're going.
It's easy to take for granted the necessity of wheels in our society today. This is something well recognized here in the Tri-Cities. Whether Volunteer Parkway, Exit 7, or the Bluff City Highway, it takes a lot of miles to get where you're going. But not everyone can afford that all the time. Between the high cost of car payments, insurance, and fuel, the investment of a personal vehicle is often too costly for many. That's why our public transit system is so important. Running over 70,000 trips last year alone, the Bristol, Tennessee transit system helps our community reach their lives in action. Boarding at the localized downtown center, commuters can be shuttled all the way up to the Bristol Regional Medical Center, down the Volunteer Parkway, or even out to the Bristol Industrial Park on Highway 421 for only 60 cents on the dollar, with children under 6 riding for free. In conjunction with its Virginia side counterpart, there's practically no local business outside the grasp of a quick ride. Transfers between buses cost only 10 cents, and you can even request a detour when boarding of up to a half-mile outside the fixed route. The 3 main fixed-route buses operate between 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m., and for short trips and local visitors, it's a great opportunity to get where you're going, but sometimes it takes a little bit more to get back and forth. That's why Bristol Transit is now offering shuttle services for both its at-request job access program as well as the ADA paratransit services to help our local residents with disabilities. To use Bristol's ADA services, residents must meet certain requirements, but all necessary forms are provided by the transit system. For those who do not meet the requirements of the American with Disabilities Act, Bristol still strives to provide the best service, offering disabled citizens, as well as senior citizens 55 and up, a 50% discount of 30-cent rides during the off-peak hours of 10:15 a.m. until 2:45 p.m. With a fleet of 4 brand new buses and 2 vans, Bristol Transit aims to offer the most convenient, pleasant alternative to walking or driving, and the courteous staff aims to meet the special needs of all its passengers. For more information, you can visit bristoltn.org/transit.cfm. For Inside Bristol, I'm Jess Mutter.
Thanks, Jess. Well, if you still want more information on the city transit system, you can call 423-989-5586. That number again is 423-989-5586. Coming up next, Fire Chief Bob Barnes joins us to tell us about an impressive safety score the city has just received. Welcome back to Inside Bristol. Well, I have the Fire Chief with me today, Bob Barnes, and he's here to talk about a great score that the fire department received in Bristol.
Yes, I am, Sheridan, and appreciate you having me. We just received our latest public protection class from what most people commonly refer to as ISO, and that stands for Insurance Services Office. And that is an independent organization that goes, really it's worldwide, but primarily goes throughout this country to the various cities, and they actually score the fire suppression capabilities of a community.
And so an ISO score is given out every year? Is it an annual?
Normally a review will be done between every 8 to 10 years. However, ISO is a little behind schedule right now. We had our last one performed in 1999. So we recently completed this one, and you know, I think it's important to remember and point out that the rating that you receive or a city receives for its fire suppression capabilities is not a fire department score. It is a score for that city.
Okay.
Because there's three primary components that go into that score. The Emergency Communications District can score a maximum of 10 points. The Water Supply or Public Works can score a maximum of 40 points. And then the Fire Department score can account for up to 50 points.
Okay.
So you have 10%, 40%, and 50%. And the reason I point that out is because it's, you know, when you get a good score like a 3, or some departments are lucky enough to go up to a 2 or a 1, but that's indicative really of the cooperation that the departments in Bristol have, because it's, like I say, it's not just the fire department.
It's a group effort.
It's a group effort. It takes everyone working together. The water supply, on our score, they did a great job. Emergency Communications did a great job. You put it all together, and we were fortunate enough to maintain our rating of a 3.
So a rating of a 3, that's a good score. What is that?
It is good.
What does that mean? That takes all those criteria together.
Right. The scores can range from a 1 all the way down to a 10, with the lower scores being the better scores.
Okay.
And we scored
Way to go, Bristol.
Right.
Way to go, Chief.
Well, not me. It's everyone.
Everybody. Way to go,
everyone
everybody.
in the department, the police department, emergency communications, even city council and city management. It's really a group effort. People that think that the fire department can go out and get a good score on their own, then they're fooling themselves. The score, like I say, the actual score is called a public protection class, and that's assigned to the city, not to the fire department.
Okay, so now if you get a 3, what does that do for you? I mean, it's great to say, oh, we've got a 3, but what is there anything?
Well, I think it gives the city something to be proud of and to brag about. But for our customers, it usually means lower insurance rates. However, for your personal residential insurance rates, once your public protection class goes up to a 5 or a 4 and in that range, then as that score improves, you really don't see that much savings. For commercial rates, as that score continues to go up, then the commercial customers may see a greater savings in their insurance rates. And the other thing is for instance, industrial development. A lot of big companies or retail establishments, they really don't like to go in areas where you don't have good schools, police protection, fire protection. And when they gauge a fire protection, they will generally look at the public protection class of that city.
That's great. Well, congratulations. I guess I haven't
thank you.
said that yet, and I should. So now when they're looking at the fire department, what are the criteria that they're looking at when they're giving out this score?
Well, they look at the way we keep our records. If we maintain our equipment, they look at the number of engines we have in service in relation to what ISO says we should have in service. They look at the location of fire stations. Do we have an adequate number of fire stations? They do an inventory of all of our trucks to make sure we have the proper equipment. They look at our training records to make sure we're doing the correct amount of training and in the right subject areas. Just anything related to the operation or the management of the fire department, they look at.
That is great. Well, look, we appreciate you coming on today and sharing this great news with us.
Well, I was glad to be here and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We'll be right back.
Thanks for joining us today. If you have a comment or suggestion, please feel free to shoot us an email. Until then, we'll see you next time on Inside Bristol.